Previously on Cruise Kibitz. And together we are Cruise Kibitz. It's 2025 and we are back in business. We did a little CK rewind in last week's episode because a little birdie told me that between these three ladies on the screen, we sailed every major cruise line in 2020. Give it up for that. But since we had so many sailings to talk about, we only made it through half the year. So let's pick it up where we left off with Cheryl's August cruise on Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady.
I made it right. I put in my, they asked me for my feedback when I was really hot. So they asked me for my feedback in the app, so I let them have it. I'm like, this happened to this, and I'm having a horrible time. And they actually responded like right away and told me, no, all of the ice cream is not full of gluten. So yeah, so it was a redemption cruise from the way the Scarlet Lady started off for me. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So that was Cheryl's redemption cruise for Virgin. Miss Siobhan, what'd you get into in August?
We had a redemption cruise as well.
Where we go?
Let's see. Y'all know we said we were ever go back to MSC, but we did. You and us on a Magnifica, so we had to try it for ourselves.
Oh, how'd it go?
We had an amazing time. We had a really, really good time. We enjoyed the sailing. We enjoyed the port stops, which there were only 2, but we did an overnight in their private island. And we had a great time. The only thing I would say that MSC should probably work on is the community dining, which, like I said, as content creators, that is not like a big thing for us because we do like to try to like get that content and we don't want to disturb other people and have cameras out and stuff. We did meet some great table mates, so that was not the issue. But I think in the year of our Lord 2025 now, community dining should not be a thing.
Yeah, Lord, please let it go. MSC, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Right.
Please.
But outside of that, we loved it. Like the Magnifica is a well-maintained ship. The food was good. The food really turned around for us on this sailing. The wait staff was amazing. Our cabin was beautiful. It was clean. It was nice and spacious. Like we had a great time on that sailing. We really did.
Yeah. You know what I noticed from watching you guys vlogs? I guess some of the cabins must be updated on Magnifica and some are not, because our cabin was that very old red carpet, like how you were talking, Cheryl, earlier about how ships have that older, darker look. That's what our cabin was like. And so when I saw Parkers on the Girl room, so I was like, well, who stuck us in the old room? And why we
Beautiful cabin. I was shockingly surprised because I saw yours.
Yeah, so y'all cabin was gorgeous.
I was expecting the red, and I was like, well, this is different.
Yeah, y'all had, and I'm glad the food turned around for y'all because the food did not turn around.
I enjoyed the food.
No, the food did not. The food experience was not. But ours was only a 3-day sail, and we survived it. It was good. It was all good.
Right. Y'all throw your wings away.
Made me throw my wings away. And y'all know how good. Siobhan is the one who taught me about the bearded clam wings. So you know how good they are. Throw my wings in the garbage. Well, I'm mad. I'm mad all over again. But shout out to MSC for redeeming themselves with the Parkers in August on the Magnifica. What do we do? What we get into in September? Anybody sail the high seas or do any big trips in September? I know I did.
We all were home in September.
We were.
No, I wasn't home, but I did not sail. We were on the go this year, okay? We were blessed enough to be able to return to the Gillis Memorial Community Day where they had entrepreneurs. And this year we were invited back by Miss Carla, who's an amazing supporter of the channel, and I'm sure of all of our channels, and Carnita. And they put on a community day in Baltimore every year. And we were invited back, and along with some other leaders in the community, and also Jada Shiplife. So we actually taught, or Brandon will say, I taught a mini editing course to some of the aspiring YouTubers there, and it was a great time. It was a great turnout, and we actually got invited back again to do a more in-depth one next year. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. We love it.
Very nice.
We love it. Congratulations to you guys for that. I know that's big. It's huge for y'all to have that opportunity and to already be invited back again for the first. Yes. So other than that, I guess we was at home quiet in September. So we'll move to October. Now I know that at least two of us had a cruise together in October, but I kicked off the month of October with a trip to Atlanta, a land-based trip. Went for a wedding at the Piedmont Room, which was absolutely gorgeous. But while I was there, I got to see some of our content creator friends. We met up with Meet Night. We had a nice dinner, and we took RJ to the MLK Memorial to see like the site of the memorial and everything in Atlanta, in downtown Atlanta. So that was a nice trip, and even though it was quick and it was very quick. I mean, I think we was there like 2 days total. That was still kind of a bigger thing on my list of 2024, because taking RJ to see some of those like memorial type locations, sites, and things like that, historical places is big for me. So I was excited to get him down there to see that. Yeah. And then I think I know Siobhan and I were sailing together, and I think Cheryl was sailing at the same time on a different ship. So Cheryl, which ship were you on in October?
I did the inaugural sailing of the Sun Princess, and it was the inaugural sailing of that ship and my first Princess cruise. So yeah, it was, and I actually enjoyed Princess. To me, it felt like the celebrity's baby sister. That's a way I can describe it, because it felt like it had some of the, I guess, aspects or components of celebrity, but on a smaller scale. Like I know I hear mixed feedback on the dome, what they call the dome. And it's they're using it as a multi-purpose space, but I love it. You can go there to relax, and Raquel from MH Family Adventures, she was on there with me too. And, we both went there to edit, Paul from PMB Travels. He was there as well. And, I mean, it was a room that we could go in and relax and like get some editing done, but they also had, some of their classes there too, because I went and there were stretching classes. And while we were stretching, or while there's classes going on, you still got people in the upper decks, using it as a space to, kind of relax. They had events in that area. Some things they got to work on, because when they put events in that area, they didn't have a way of, managing the people who were coming to the events. They had a line. People were respecting the line, but people were getting off the elevators and going straight into the event, bypassing the line and everything. And then it was such a small space. I think they said only 125 people, were able to get in to see a show. And you got 4,000? I don't know how many was on that ship. But some things they had to work on, as far as like, some of the venues, the space was too small for the actual venue. So not only the dome, but even the comedy, even though I didn't really care for the comedy, but still it was in a space that wasn't really large enough to hold, the interest. So I think they had some of those things to work out. Their piazza area, which is like their atrium, beautiful. They had a lot of events in that area. I enjoyed the food. It was a really good experience. The vibe was great. I had a really good time on that ship, and I'm looking forward to going back and trying another Princess ship, because Paul and Raquel, they've sailed Princess before, and they were telling me, and it was very diverse. We had a very diverse crowd. They were telling me this ship and this crowd is a lot different than the other ships or the other Princess cruises that they've been on. So we didn't know if it was because it was a new ship, because it was going to the Caribbean, or exactly what. So I want to try one of their older ships or other ships to kind of compare the experience. But the Sun Princess, I really enjoyed. So
All right, good to know. Sounds
Yeah.
like Princess may be in Sig's future again at some
Yes,
point.
it is. Definitely. It is. Yeah, I'm looking now. Don't have anything booked, but I'm looking.
In 20 minutes, she'll have something booked, y'all. Her finger is on book now. Confirmed.
Okay, now.
So also at the same time, we were sailing on board Celebrity Beyond for the Kickback Cruise. Talk about it, Siobhan.
So we started when we first started cruising. Our Parker Fam group cruise used to be called the BYOC Kickback Cruise. BYOC standing for Bring Your Own Cruise. So we wanted to kind of revamp that and bring that back to where everybody can kind of get together, content creators, subscribers, cruiser, anybody that loves to cruise. We can all come together, hang out, get to know each other, do our own thing. No like solidified events or no hangouts. It's like, hey, if we see each other in passing, we want to have dinner, let's do that. Or if we end up in the port together, let's do that. And that's exactly what we did. We got on the ship, we did our own thing, and when we ran across each other, we hung out. And I'm telling you, that's the way to cruise. We had a great time. We had a great time on that ship.
It was. I fully agree. It was an amazing time. And it was nice to just, like you said, when you came across somebody, it was always exciting to run into somebody you knew. And then it might be a quick, hey, let's grab something to eat real quick and hang out. And then we both go about our business. Or it might end in you shutting down the martini bar at 4 a.m. It just, you never know what it's going to end up. It's the kickback.
Wait,
So.
did that happen?
Yes.
Did that happen?
Okay.
Then they would turn the lights off and on. They could not have
vacuuming.
Not the crew trying to give y'all hints and y'all not taking.
They was vacuuming around us. They were cleaning tables. They was clinking glassware. They were doing everything to let us know.
And y'all was just lifting up a leg for them and saying, "Oh, you get the spot."
Pretty much. Here you go.
That's the beauty of it, is because when all the lights and cameras are off and you have that time, that one-on-one time with each other, like that's the beauty of it. And that's what it's about. It's just like really making those connections. So I'm down for it. I'm always down for one, at least one a year. We need to do those. So
it was a good time. It was.
Yes.
So that was like, anybody else have anything in October? I think that was it for October, right?
That was it for October. Yeah.
Okay. So then we moved to November. Who got into something good in November? Go. You got the floor, Siobhan.
Cheryl did too. The slow hand race.
Right.
Yeah, go with your November.
Okay, so I have 2 in November. So, we can. So the first one was the first week of November. I did the Eurodam, Holland America Eurodam, my first Holland America cruise. And it was just a 4-day, to the Caribbean. Once again, I wanted to, just try it for a solo experience. And then, of course, Holland America has the reputation of, being a cruise for older people, those pesky 50 and above year olds. Just me. So
Stop it.
So I wanted to, just to see what it's like. Again, they had solo meetups every night. It was an older crowd. It was more diverse, I think, because it was going to the Caribbean and because it was a shorter sailing. So but I really enjoyed it. They had good entertainment, and the spa, they had a good thermal spa, very relaxing. I enjoyed that. And the food was good. I enjoyed the food. So it was really a really good experience. I would not mind going again and trying another Holland America ship, another bigger Holland America ship, but I really enjoyed it. Yes.
All right. Okay. Holland America, getting your foot in the door with the Carnival cruiser.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what about you, Siobhan? What do we do in November?
Oh, Cheryl has two.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I was going to let you come in and then come back to me, but I can go ahead. So, so the next was the carnival celebration. So that was my. I can't remember. I think that was just the second time. I gotta, go back and count. But I think that was my second time on carnival celebration because we did the inaugural together. A lot of. Were you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys did the inaugural, but didn't you do it again for Thanksgiving too one time?
Yeah. This year
This is the one. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it was my Thanksgiving family and friends group cruise. So this was my largest group cruise, and it was a good learning experience. But I'm happy that the feedback that I got was that everybody had a great time. I set everybody up beforehand. We had like 3 Zoom calls because I did have some new cruisers in the group. So I went over everything, from top to bottom. So by the time they got on the ship and I got them set up with their apps on the first day, we took a group picture and then everybody was off on their own. At the end, I heard that everybody had a great time. Well, of course, I interacted with everybody throughout the cruise, but the feedback at the end was that everybody had a great time. And of course, I love Carnival's XL class with their the whole I keep forgetting what they call a central stage, that whole central area where they have the shows and everything. Great shows there. Emeralds, I love emeralds, and I made sure everything that I loved, I made sure that everybody else knew about it too, so they could try it out. And just so much. I just still love Carnival in general. Carnival is still one of my favorite ships because I can go on there and I know I'm going to have a good time. I know what to expect. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it was Leon. Leon he just got promoted to fleet director. So, but I was on his last sailing. The sailing we were on was his last sailing as cruise director. So, and it was a good time. So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I do have a question for you though. As a solo cruiser, how is it solo hosting a group cruise? Because you've done a group cruise where other solo cruisers have been on a group but dispersed and doing their own thing. But you're the focus of a group. So how was that hosting that?
Well, actually, it was a I would say like hands off as far as when we got on the ship. I think most of my work was beforehand. The people who were on the cruise, it was my family, which and I was still doing a little bit of work too. So my family and my sister, so they were experienced cruisers, and my mother had like friends from church. And my sister, so they were like a core. So I would pop in and out between them and the other group. The other group was a family, and we sailed with her family on a smaller scale. In 2018, we were on the Carnival Liberty. Well, and she was from my former job, so she invited like how many, 15 of them or something like that. So and most of them were connected with her. So that group, they were all hanging together, and like groups within her group, they would splinter off. So everybody was kind of like doing their own thing. And I was making recommendations on, hey, don't miss this, or I highly recommend this or that. We had a WhatsApp chat group, but I didn't have other than the first day for us to meet up and do a group picture and make sure everybody was off on the right foot. I didn't have like meetups throughout the cruise, but I still connected with everybody throughout the cruise. So so it wasn't I guess I didn't do a lot of hosting, like gathering people together to do this or that. I just feel like on group cruises, just my perspective, sometimes I don't think you really need to have separate events because the ship has it all. So it's like, I don't need to pull everybody together to have our own thing where we can just connect and find the things that on the ship that we like to do together and just go there and have a good time together. So,
Yeah.
and that's the way I do my solo group cruises, especially because they're independent anyway. So, so it's just like, you know, on those we still connect by WhatsApp, and just whoever wants to go here or there, people put in the app, hey, I'm here. It's a great time here. I put in that, you know, hey, I'm at the Havana bar, and hey, this is the music is great. If you guys want to come down, and then they came down, and everybody was having a good time. So it's that type of, you know, vibe. So, but yeah, for my first big group cruise, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So.
So we're looking for many more group cruises from you in the future.
I hope so. I hope so. And it's always a good sign that you really know they have had a good time with, you know, we're all travel advisors as well. When they contact you afterwards and say, hey, I had a good time. I want you to help me with this other group cruise. So, so then, you know, they really had a good time.
Yeah. So November was a great month for Sig, the solo cruiser. Siobhan, what was November like for you and Parkers on the Go?
Ooh, November was a magical red extravaganza. Magical because we did our first side by side, and they could not have been two more different cruises. We started out on the Disney Dream for their very merry time cruise, and whew, that was a lot. That was a lot. So yeah, we started off with that, and then we ended on a 2-day Virgin Voyages cruise. And it was one of their specialty hosted cruise by world international DJ Sam Felt, and that was amazing as well. So we had 2 cruises, 1 week, and it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. We had a great time.
It sounds like a good time, but that talk about wildly different cruise experience.
Right.
It was 2 completely different cruise experiences because we got on that Disney ship, and I was like, you guys know I love Disney. I don't know if I love it more than Kiki, but I do love Disney. And we got on that ship, and it was just like there were, of course, you know, there were kids and adults being adults, and you know, the shows were great, the food was good, just some great experiences. And then as soon as we got off of that and we stepped on Virgin, we were like, well, it was almost like a culture shock, the difference of what we had left that morning onto what we had gotten into that evening. But it was not a bad culture shock. So yeah, I'm with Sig. Our first Virgin cruise, it was a Scarlet Lady, and we were like water. We didn't know what was going on, and I don't think they had figured out their vibe at that point. They were trying to figure it out. So getting back on Virgin for the second time, even though it was a shorter sailing, you can see that they had worked those kinks out, and that they knew what direction they were going into. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. To be like eating breakfast with Mickey in the morning and then like hanging out at Scarlet Night with Sam Felt the same day, like that is just mind blowing to me.
It was that is literally what it was. We literally had Mickey waffles in the morning, and we had DJs techno thumping at night. It was crazy.
What was your thoughts on the side to side process? Like, how would you do that again? What'd you think?
I would do it again. We learned from you, though. We had to figure out how to get from one port city to another. So we started off in Port Everglades, and we ended in Port of Miami. And we did we priced it all out. We tried to figure it out, and we were just like, it makes more sense to take the Brightline at that point in time. So we got off the ship. We Ubered to the Brightline station. We went to Miami, and we just Ubered to the ship. Now, what we did not know, which is what we found on the way back, which it was an easy process. We just made sure we took a later train because we did have a late boarding time with Virgin. And that's one thing you will find with Virgin is they don't board the same time as everybody else. They usually start boarding around 2 o'clock. And our boarding time wasn't until 4. So we kind of hung around the Brightline station, but because we got the Cheryl, remind me the premium. Yes. Because we got premium, we were able to hang out in the lounge a little bit, have a little
nice.
Just drinks, and then we took the train right down to Miami. And it was a nice experience. So I think that was definitely the way to go. But the one thing I will say is that once we got off of Brightline, what we could have done, what we found on the rebound was we literally could have walked to Bayside. It was a 10-minute walk to Bayside from the train station.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and we caught a free trolley. There's that green, I don't know, we've showed you guys in our blogs a couple of times. There is a Miami trolley that goes around. That's free to jump on, but it goes to the cruise ports. So it's green and orange. You can never see it. So we went to Bayside, and the trolley stops at Bayside, and it'll take you back to the cruise ports and drop you off. So you can literally get from the Brightline station to Virgin without a dime, without spending a dime. Yeah,
that is good to know. Yeah.
Yes.
And Bayside is a cool area to just hang out too. Like go down there, hang out a little bit until it's time for your boarding time. If you have a late boarding time, like that's a nice spot to just kind of chill.
And I haven't been there yet. I've never gone. So
I'm so sick of you, Cheryl, having all these hot spots around you that you won't go to.
Until somebody comes into town.
Right.
2025. I'm going to go to, what is it, Bayside? What is it?
Bayside.
The name of it.
Yeah, I'm going there. Yeah, but I'm gonna go there. Whether I know the name or not, I'm going. But I have a question for you, Siobhan. So, your first experience, because I remember when Virgin first came out, like their first few sailings, and they were doing like those pop-ups where it was like folk singing and all of that, and bonfires. And were you a part of that original experience? And then
I was first sailing, the inaugural sailing for the Scarlet Lady, and I every drop of that.
So you saw a huge difference in like what they were offering, like for immigrant. What were the differences? All of the differences.
So definitely no pop-up singers, more scheduled events. There were more not so folksy. So there was like the first night we were on the ship, there was a guy who kind of did his own kind of blues singing, but he did more than blues. Like he really, really got into it. So we enjoyed that. And I think he was only supposed to perform for like 45 minutes to an hour. He ended up performing for almost 3 hours without a break. Like it was just that amazing. Definitely the experiences around the ship were not so folksy. I think they're getting more into what people want, and that's the other thing I'm really liking about Virgin is they, like you said before, they listen to what you say. If you put something in, they take into consideration, and if it makes sense for them, they implement it. So 100%. We saw the difference from beginning to end. I will say 2 days was not enough to see the full extent of it, but I know that they get this stigma, and I do know for a fact that they are trying to pull away from that and trying to bring people more to what Virgin, the original meaning of what Virgin was, now that they know what direction they're going into. So they definitely listen to the people, and that's one thing I really like about it.
Good to know. Good to know. It makes a difference when you listen to the people. Listen, the folks will come if you listen to them.
Right.
Yeah. So that was November. Sounds like Virgin has a maybe Parkers on Go future coming. Little Virgin action. So that was November. And then we come to the final month in 2024, December. How did we wrap up December? What we do, Cheryl? What we get into?
We went to a Disney cruise.
Yay! Signa Solo Cruises' first Disney cruise. What did we think? Let's talk about it.
My first Disney cruise was December 12th on the Maritime cruise, and that's going to be my next cruise series, so stay tuned.
All right. I gotta watch the vlog.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna roll with it. You gotta watch the vlogs.
Stay tuned, honey. I want to see your experience compares to ours. So
well, that's Yeah, and that's why I looked at yours. It's going to be very different because it's like, and even when I was on the cruise, now I went on, and my thought was, okay, how am I going to, how am I going to film this? How am I going to present this? And before, maybe a month or so before, I had a poll on my community tab, and I said, as a solo cruiser over 50, I said, what cruise lines would you not do? And I had a list of 4, and the second to the top one was Virgin Voyages, which I did, and the top one was Disney. So I was like, okay, well, that means I got to do a Disney cruise. So I did do it from that perspective, like, is Disney, or if you're over 50, are you missing out, on Disney? So I filmed it from, the adult only aspect on Disney and what that experience is like. And I was quite surprised. So much to the fact where, like, by day 3, I was like, okay, let me put some Disney characters in here to let them know, so they'll know, yeah, I am on Disney. So I was like, and I will admit, I did not interact. I saw characters, and I have some characters on film, just to show that, hey, I'm on a Disney cruise, but I didn't interact with the characters very at all. And I had a great adult time. So yeah.
Disney's a good time. It is. I always laugh though, because you hear a lot of people saying, well, if you sail this time of year, you won't have as many kids because kids are in school. And I just be cracking up because, baby, I am one of the parents. It is me. I raise my hand. I'm pulling mine out to go when it's cheap. Okay. And a lot of other people feel the same way, especially on Disney.
One thing, I don't know if you guys felt this way, but my first experience, and maybe it could be because I wasn't hanging out that much, with a lot of kids, but I felt like I don't know if this is going to be wrong for me to say. I feel like the Disney kids, or the kids that were selling Disney, or maybe at least on my ship, they were a lot different than like the kids that I see on like Carnival, or, some of the, or even Royal Caribbean. They were
say it, Cheryl. What is it?
They were very well behaved. I mean, yes. You did see, okay.
Yes. It was, and for us, it was not the kids. It was the adults.
Yeah,
there are a lot of entitled adults that sell Disney. I'm just gonna say it.
I'm like, and especially because when you have people, adults, especially adults with no kids, who say they will not sell Disney because they were thinking, oh, all the kids. But when my experience was, the kids were well behaved, and it was like, I see more running around and more, bad activity with kids on other cruise lines, than Disney. Of course, you saw maybe the 2-year-old who, they're in their mother's arms or something, and they're having a temper tantrum. That's any 2-year-old. But as far as like the young kids, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not all over the ship running around causing havoc and things like that. It's like everybody was well behaved. I'm like, and I didn't feel, being an adult without kids, I didn't feel like they were a nuisance, or I'm like, oh, this kids are, it was nothing like that, Yeah.
I think Disney does a good job at keeping activities flowing for kids, things that they can do that keep them from running all around the ship and causing all kinds of havoc and stuff. Like there's always some kind of activity going on at the kids club. They'll come get them kids from dinner for you, and like all of these different things that they do to make sure that adults can have a good experience too. I think it helps. So So what did you get into? I know you did get into something in December, Siobhan. What do we do?
I had a lot of Disney this year. Shay and I did a mother-daughter 2-day trip to Disney, and I had this bright idea. Shay was like, okay. She was like, okay, yeah. So yeah, I had this bright idea that we were going to do all 4 parks in one day.
I'm tired. I got tired as soon as you said it.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. It is possible. You can do it. Are you going to be dog tired? Yes. Are your feet going to hurt? Absolutely. There's nothing you can do. We took preventative measures. We took Tylenol. We made sure we were well hydrated. We did all the things that you're supposed to do. We rested. We were tired, but we had an amazing time. We did, we limited what rides we want to do to each park. We already pinpointed everything out. But by the time we got to the 4th park, which was Hollywood Studios, the energy for nothing but fantastic. So we got there just in time to see the light show on Tower of Terror. Then we went and we saw Fantasmic, and we got back on the bus and we went back to our hotel and we slept very well, and we flew out the next day. We came back home and we had a great time.
Good.
It sounds like a good time. It sounds like It doesn't sound like I would ever do it, but it sounds like an amazing time.
I told myself we're never doing that again, and the next time we want to do all 4 parks, we want to do it, and we'll probably do 2 parks per day, maybe not 4. Maybe the most we'll do is 2 parks in one day. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a quick turnaround trip too. So that's to have to do all that in one day and then have to turn around too really quickly. Woo, more power to y'all. But it looked like an amazing time. It did.
It lives over on Hey Miss Parker, so make sure you go over there and subscribe.
Absolutely. Did I miss anything? Did we cover every trip or every important thing that took place?
You did something amazing this year too.
I did. What did I do?
Not Hey Miss Kiki.
I did. I launched my own personal YouTube channel this year. It is called Ms. Kiki, MIZZKEKE. Where you can see just a little bit of what I get into. I'm so many things outside of this travel world, y'all, and I'll just show you a little bit of each of those things on that channel. So definitely check it out. It does have a bit of a faith-based background to it. So if you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and check out Miss Kiki. I would love to have you over there. Let's chat a little bit. And I also, as of December, am a travel agent now. So a couple of big things took place for me in 2024. So excited to kick off 2025 in a new way. So thank you for bringing that up, Siobhan. I appreciate it.
We had a great year.
We did. We did. And to sail every major cruise line as a group is huge. That's a big accomplishment for Cruise Kibitz, I think. So I'm really appreciative of having you guys in my life. For one, I love Cruise Kibitz, but I love my friends even more. So.
And also, speaking of that, yes, we did that as a group, but I was excited with Disney. That marked me as having sailed every major cruise line. So that is something that I actually, at some point during the year, I actually set out to do that for the rest of the year because I had so many cruises booked. Then I said, well, I might as well try to book out, Disney and Holland and, just round it all out. So I got through every major cruise line. So
yes. And just think, we sat here a year ago, and when we were chatting, Sig was saying, I've really done Carnival. I've done so much Carnival, and I'm getting ready to go on this royal trip. And it's been 20 years since I've been on this royal trip. And now to come back a year later and be able to say you hit every major cruise line, that's big. Yeah. Congratulations to you, Sig. That's huge.
That is amazing.
I love it.
So now at least I know why that, we all haven't been able to sit down and do some podcasts.
Yes. So when you say where's Cruise Kibitz, now you know where Cruise Kibitz was.
Right.
Okay? We were not still. And we appreciate you guys asking for us because to do what we were supposed to do. And y'all did not hesitate to ask at any moment, at any point.
Baby, they did not let up.
Okay. If it was us individually, us together, us in somebody's live stream or somebody's here, the question was, where is Cruise Kibitz? And when are y'all
Cruise Kibitz? We were literally watching a live stream last night. It was like, where's Cruise Kibitz? I was like, oh, I wanted to say so bad we're recording tomorrow, but I was like, no, be surprised. Be surprised. Oh man, it was a good year for us. We pray and hope that it was a good year for you that are listening too. Drop your comments down below. Let us know what was the best part of 2024 for you. And let us know if you hanging with Cruise Kibitz for 2025, because we in here, y'all.
We're here.
We're going to do better this year, y'all. We promise.
Yes.
We're going to do better.
Yes, we will.
Yes. And before we wrap it up, I have 2 questions this time, y'all. First of all, you named a lot of cruises in 2024, Sid. Did Clarence make it out the closet onto any of them cruises in 2024?
Oh, man. Clarence, he got mad at me at one point, left and came back, so he's still back there, in the closet hanging out. You probably peeped out or something like that, but he's still there.
I thought I saw the door crack.
Go back and watch it again and make sure you see where Clarence popped out.
Right. And then Siggy over here on the couch, but she telling me she don't want to be on film, unless I'm gonna pay her a little something. So yeah,
it's Siggy want to be on payroll.
It's just a mess over here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, ladies, it's been fun chatting. What do you think, Cheryl? What you got on your mind?
Man, this has been a long one. It is so great to be back. I love y'all, but I think we should call this a podcast.
Ooh, I ain't heard it in so long.
I know it's been too long. Let's call it a podcast, though. Happy cruising, guys.
Happy cruising.